Alright, y'all. Last night I just watched this really disturbing movie called Heretic. I think that's how you say it. But today I am speedrunning the explanation of the entire movie just from memory, so I might not get every single part of this right, but let's go. So first, in the beginning, these girls are Praxton's one name, and then I forgot the other girl. But they're talking about I don't even know. Don't watch the beginning. It's kind of weird. But and then they're Mormons, missionaries. So they go. Wait, if I okay, so they're going to spread their Mormon religion or whatever. And they go to this one guy's house. The old man from Costco, I think it is. But I don't know. But he has such a big house. It's kind of isolated and creepy and stuff. And they ring the doorbell and then they go inside. But he takes a while to unlock it because it locks on the door on this timer thing, right? So they go inside and then they're talking about religion and stuff. He says that his wife is in the basement or whatever, baking a blueberry pie, but the wife is too shy to come out. So they're kind of getting kind of freaked out when and then he brings out his Mormon, and his name's Mr. Reed. I'm not sure if I mentioned that already, but then Braxton's Mr. Reed. Well, you must be Mr. Reed, because yeah. No, so then they start talking about Mormons and stuff, and he's talking about the one true religion and how he studied all the religions and stuff. So he's doing that, and then he asked them about their favorite fast food restaurants for some reason, and it's Wendy's or something, but they don't mention Taco Bell, and then because apparently the girl who I don't know her name died from Taco Bell, but you learn that out figure that out later. So they're talking, he's kind of creeping them out with his theories and stuff about one religion and stuff. I think I'm not sure if I'm missing anything, but then he goes and they're can you please meet your wife? So he goes and says, hold on, give me a minute, and then well he says come follow me, and then they don't want to because he's kind of creepy and stuff. So they fake a phone call. Wait, I think I'm missing something, but he goes to get the wife. And then while he does, the girl turns around the candle because there's a candle that was lit because he blew it out then. And then it's the scent of blueberry pie, so he's trying to throw them off and make them think that the wife is cooking blueberry pie. So that happens, and then what happens? So that happens, and then she's kind of freaked out, and he comes back and he says, "Oh, my wife's so shy." And then they keep talking a bit more, and then he tells them to come with him if they want to meet his wife. So they go with him, and then but she fakes the girl, I don't know her name, fakes to get a phone call. And I think it's important to mention that in the beginning he said, "Oh, are you guys okay with the metal in the walls or whatever?" So she fakes a phone call, and then they try to escape, but they can't because the door's on a timer lock. So that happened. And then they finally go with him, I think. And they're in this basement, and there's this water thing where there's a leak, and the thing tips over and the water fills it up, and then so there's that, and then it's kind of creepy. It's a church, and then there's 2 doors, and they're please come and leave, and then it's stuff happens, but he's both doors lead to the outside. Which one do you want to go through? Do you have a preference or something? And then he's they don't know, so he pulls out these so then he keeps talking, and there's a lot of talking in this movie, and the guy's very philosophical and stuff, and has a lot of theories. So he I don't know what he does first, but basically he pulls out the Torah, and he's this is the landlord's game, which is in the beginning there was or before Monopoly, there's this person who created the landlord's game, which is basically exactly like Monopoly, and it was, and then later on somebody stole his idea, so that he compared the landlord's game to the Torah, because Judaism was the first religion, and then he put the Bible above next to the Torah, and then he compared that to Monopoly because they kind of stole the idea from Judaism or something, and then he put Islam. I'm sorry, I forgot what the book there was called, but he compared, and then that's Monopoly Ultimate Banking Edition, and then he put the Book of Mormons because Islam was the future version of the Bible, I think. So I don't know much about that, but yeah. So yeah, yeah. So there's that, and then he puts the Book of Mormon on top of the Bible, and then he puts Bob Ross Monopoly too, so it's a spin-off of the Bible he's saying, and then he talks about there are 12 gods from different points of time that had the same characteristics as Jesus, they didn't look the same, but they were all born on July 25th, and then before this he does mention that what I'm about to claim may make you want to die, and the movie's very disturbing, and it'll make you rethink reality, especially if you're religious, which I kind of am, so it's kind of creepy, but yeah, so that happened. And then and then he writes belief and disbelief on these 2 doors, and then he's which one do you want to go in? And then he just lets him decide, and he's I'm giving you freedom to choose. So Braxton or whatever chooses to go in the disbelief door because she thinks that he wants them to think that it's disbelief is the right one. But then they're kind of talking for that, and also wait, I don't know when, but someone picks up this meat thermometer thing that can stab people with it. So and then also Braxton shows her run on her phone, and then she says no. But they're deciding to hide between the doors, and then the girl, I don't know her name, mentions that oh, this is all just a sick experiment, we should just go through belief or whatever. I think I'm missing a few parts of that. Yeah, no, and then he's a while before that, he's talking about lies and stuff, and a bunch of stuff, and how religion might be a lie, and then he's he knows that they didn't fake that they faked the phone call, but he says it's fine, but he knows that because there's metal in the wall, so the phone signals don't go through, and then also he says, do you guys really believe me that my wife is cooking blueberry pie? And then they're so yeah, a lot of other stuff happened there, and then so then they go through the belief door, and then he traps them in there. They go down there, and they try to escape through the window, but that doesn't work. They try to do a bunch of stuff, and then he comes down. I think he comes down or something. Yeah, and then he's talking about whatever, I don't know. And then there's just little thing that he can talk to them by. So he starts playing. Oh, and he starts playing this. There's this song, and then he's talking about how the song is their other song, the Radiohead song, is a ripoff of that, and that's also another metaphor for the Bible and all the religion and stuff. So that's an important thing. But he's playing that, and he's talking, but he's writing down stuff because he is doing experiments and stuff. And then this old lady, I feel I'm missing more parts out, but I don't know. I'm just doing this from memory. This old lady comes out, and I don't even know where she comes from. But she gets punched down in a ball and stuff, and it's pretty creepy. And then she starts I don't even know what she's doing. It's pretty weird. But then so they're getting freaked out and stuff, and then he comes down. or he might. I don't think he comes down. I think the lady just like stands up and she like sits on the table. Oh no, what she does is she comes in. And she puts the pie on the table, like the blueberry pie, but it's like really weird. And then she like punches up in a ball, and then eventually she like comes and sits when he's like describing how she's like the prophecy, and then that there's like poison in the pie, and she's gonna get like resurrected like a few moments after she dies. So she goes and eats the pie, and then she like it's really creepy because like she's like old and like rotten and stuff. It's really weird. But that happens, and then she dies. And then this and while all this has been happening, like this one guy from the church, like the elder, is like trying to find them. So he comes to the door, and then he rings the doorbell. So while the guy, the heretic, is like at the door with him, they go up to the stairs. And they go up to the stairs, and there's like this matchbox on the rug. So they're trying to like pull the matchbox there. So and stuff. Yeah. So that happens. But they can't. And then he comes back downstairs, and like he's walking around and trying to like not move the rug anymore. But I don't even know how he didn't see that the rug was moved in the first place. But and then what happens? So then and then the guy comes back and knocks on the door and says like something. So he goes back up, and then they get the matches, and then they go down, and the woman, like her head has moved. It's like kind of like sideways now. So that's like kind of like freaky and stuff. So that happens, and then they're like, trying to light the match to like escape, and then the guy comes down. Shoot, I forgot what he talks. No, and then the guy like through the voice says like she's gonna come back to life in a few minutes, and then she does, and she's like while they're like lighting the matches, she's like standing right behind Braxton, so it like really freaks her out, and then she like vomits like all the pie like in 28 days, weeks, and years later. If you've seen that, like when the zombies do that, and that's really creepy. And then I think the girl, who I don't know her name, like asks the old lady like, what did you see there? And then she says like, oh, I saw like clouds conduct. It was like weird, but she felt like she was like disoriented. And then she said and then she like whispered to her, this is not real, because like you'll find out later. But so she whispered to that, and then so after that, the guy comes down, the heretic, Mr. Reed, and then he's like, what did she tell you? And then the Braxton's like, oh, there was like a conductor and stuff, and like it like seemed like it was like not real, and like she was like disoriented. And then he's like talking about some more religious stuff. It's just a lot of talking, but it's really creepy, talking about like really creepy stuff. And then he goes up to like the girl who I don't know her name, and like Braxton's in the back, and they have like a word for like stab him, like a code word. I think it's like underwear or something. But I don't know, but the guy says like he's like talking about how like Mormons like control what they do and stuff. And then he also talked like about like how the flames had like the matches had like a different reaction, because he found that they were like lighting stuff, and the match didn't have like a reaction to the one girl, I don't know her name. So what he does is like he cuts the girl's neck, and then that's like as soon as Braxton's like about to stab him. So he cuts the girl's neck, right? And then I feel like something else happened, but there's like a lot of talking in between that, like in all these places. And then like he cuts her neck, and then he pulls out like this chip from like her arm. It's weird. So he pulls it out and places it on the table, and then he says that she's like a robot, or like not real or something like that. And then Braxton's like getting really scared because like she's the last one left. They're like talking about like religion stuff. And then I feel like I'm missing some parts. There's like just a bunch of talking and like theories and stuff from the big like old man or whatever, Mr. Reed. So then Braxton, what she does, she because like earlier, she told, like her friend told her that like to prove him wrong. So she does prove him wrong. But first he does like the simulation theory and like tells her about that. But then she tells him that she can't prove it. But then he also says that they can't prove like religion, and he's like doubting religion. And basically a heretic is someone who like tries to like prove that religion is wrong. So he's trying to do that the whole movie. But then Traxton like just reveals all this stuff, like how he like did all this stuff, and like because with like the candle, and how she like reveals a lot of stuff, and like he's kind of shocked and stuff. And then she's like, I know that you switched out the elderly woman, because what he did, she explains this, but what he did was that one woman like actually ate the pie and died. But then while they were at the stairs, because the guy knew that the doorbell would ring, and they would go to the stairs, and he like plans out everything like along the way, because he's like pretty smart. But so the woman like switched out, and that's why she noticed the head was different, and that was like, an important thing. So she switched out the woman and then gave him a script, and then but she whispered it's not real, because then she like went off script, and that's how she like gave it away. And then he's like, how can you prove it? There's no other entryway. And then she like moves the table and finds this trap door like below the table. So she goes through it, and then he's like, you will find the one true religion. So and then he shuts the door, and she's like walking through all these rooms and stuff. And then she comes to this room where like all the people are like in a cage, I think, right? Yeah. No, so like they're all in cages, and then it's all the people who he kidnapped, and all like the people who are going to be like the elderly people who like eat the thing. And then he finds her and stuff, and then is like talking about like how eating the pie and dying is like a better choice for them than what they're doing now. So it's kind of like helpful for them or something like that. So he's talking about that, and then while he's talking about that, he's like, do you know what the one true religion is? And then she says control, because like he controlled everything that like happened and predicted like everything that would happen, which was kind of like crazy. It's like kind of like weird, but it just makes you rethink reality. And then jeez, 16 minutes. And then she like stabs him in the neck, and then she runs away. She like runs up, and then she finds herself in the room. Oh, and the room where the door that they went through, I forgot to mention this, but it led to like a basement, and that's where like the elderly woman made the pie and stuff. But she runs up to the room where they like describe Monopoly and stuff with like the water thing. So she's there, and then she goes through the disbelief door back into the basement for some stupid reason. And then because she knows that the trap door is right near the basement, so she's in the basement and she's like looking around and stuff. And then the guy like pops out behind her. I don't know how he's not dead because she stabbed him in the neck, but he pops out behind her, and then he stabs her. But like stabs her like in a better position to be stabbed, I guess. So he does that, and then like he crawls to the stairs while she like backs up, and then he's like dying, and then he's crawling to her while she's explaining like they're talking about like religion stuff. There's a lot of talking. I can't recap all that. I forgot what everything they talked about, but she says like the power of religion or the power of prayer, and she talks about the study that they did with like patients, and like half prayed and half didn't, but like the people that prayed and the people that didn't, like praying made no difference. But she said that praying together is like what is like the important part. And then he's like crawling, and it's like really weird because he's like getting on top of her, and the girl who I don't know her name who like died. Also, she also explained it like, well, like a bit before when the guy was explaining the simulation theory. she explained that the girl took birth control pills, or like had a birth control thing, which like wasn't good for like Mormons, and like she tried to hide it because it was like embarrassing for Mormons, because Mormons have like a lot of kids, I think. I don't even know their religion that well, but yeah, so that happens. And then, like, so she comes back to life. And then, oh, I forgot. Like, when they're, like, climbing up on, like, the table and the chair and stuff to get, like, escape through the window, they pull out, like, this, like, plank, like, a bunch of nails in it. So she comes back alive. I don't know how, because maybe it's, like, a metaphor for how, oh, the Taco Bell thing, too. The Taco, like, she said, like, a while, like, earlier, she was like, you know why we don't talk about Taco Bell? Is because I went there once, and, like, I was clinically dead for, like, 4 minutes. But then she, like, had, like, surgery done on her kidneys and came back to life. And everyone called her, like, Taco Hell. I don't even know. But that happened, right? And then, so she came back to life. Like, I guess that was, like, another metaphor for that Taco Bell thing and, like, resurrection and stuff. And then she hits the guy with the nail board. He dies. And then she dies again. And then Braxton, like, escapes. And I'm pretty sure that's kind of how the movie ends. She's like in a field, and the movie ends. So yeah, it was a very disturbing movie. Don't watch it if you're like religious. It really changed your view on reality. But honestly, it was one of my favorite movies ever. So yeah, it's good.